Now, WJZ's Purple Playbook, brought to you by M&T Bank.
And welcome into Purple Playbook. I'm Alex Glaze, joined as always by two-time Super Bowl champion Torrey Smith. Torrey, we're kind of in the dog days of the off season right now. We're getting ready for the draft, but we're not quite ready to talk draft talk, but we've got a lot of wide receiver talk today. I'm sure you love that.
Always, man. It's always great when the receivers are the story and the conversation nationwide, and there's a lot of talent out here, so I'm loving what's going on.
Yeah, Jaxon Smith-Njigba, the big story of this week, getting paid a monster contract that makes him the highest paid receiver in NFL history. Well-deserved, soon to be topped by Puka Nacua, right? So, but for right now, Jaxon Smith-Njigba is the top guy. Do you think that's a deserved contract?
I do. I think he's played very well. Anytime you lead the league in yards, you give yourself leverage. Great kid as well. He's one of those players in the league that I love. That my son, like if TJ comes home, and I think he probably will, every year I allowed him to buy a few different jerseys. He's going to want a JSN jersey this year, and I love him as a person. Obviously, he's an excellent player, but as a person, he's great too. I actually sat at the Super Bowl next to his mom, and so I was able to spend some time with her, learn about his family a little bit more, and to see him get that payday, being the Offensive Player of the Year, it's a big deal.
Offensive Player of the Year, Super Bowl champion, obviously a massive year for him. Now I believe his average contract for the year is $42.2 million. So just quick math. I mean, that's not too
Game
bad.
changer. You remember when people in Baltimore were mad about Joe Flacco being the highest paid quarterback, making 16 or 18 million a year?
Well, we're going to talk about Joe because Joe's collecting more checks still. He's still collecting checks in the league. But obviously the discourse now, as we come back here to Baltimore, is what's going to happen with Zay Flowers. Jaxon Smith-Njigba, the first receiver for the class of 2023 to receive that big payday. The Ravens have a big decision to make before May 1st or whether or not to pick up Zay Flowers' fifth-year option. And that option is going to be worth a little more than $27.3 million around there. What do you think about the idea of picking up that option, trying to extend Zay? How do you see the Ravens playing this?
I think that's what's going to happen. I think you're going to have the opportunity to pick up the contract. That's business as usual. Could they get an extension done? Sure, but that's just not the norm. Consistently with the Ravens, they're going to take their time, and maybe if a deal happens, it'll happen kind of before the season. But something's going to have to happen soon. And the reality of it is the salary cap keeps going up, and the longer you wait, if Zay continues to play the way he's played, it's going to show itself that, he deserves that big payday. To me, in my agent eyes here, I think the floor is going to be about $35 million.
Sure.
That's not the top guy at 42, like here we're talking about, but he's going to be well over 30 plus. And so now it's about how comfortable is Zay with taking a number for long-term security or continuing to fight and for that nickel and dime. And I hate to say nickel and dime when it comes to millions, but the extra one or two there. So it's going to be about how it's structured, what's guaranteed for him. But for Zay, a payday for sure is coming.
Absolutely. Well, we're talking about the Ravens and their fifth-year options. Here's kind of the last five guys and how that's worked out for them. Kyle Hamilton, of course, they exercised. Tyler Linderbaum, everyone was wondering what would happen there, declined, and obviously now he's moved on to Vegas. Odafe Owe, they picked up that fifth-year option for him, traded him this season. Rashad Bateman, they got a deal done right before the deadline for him. And then Patrick Queen, of course, was declined as well. Played under that fifth year and then balled out and got his contract in Pittsburgh. So there's no real rhyme or reason when I look at, the history here of why they do things, because you would think looking at that, like Tyler Linderbaum is the one that I think it's easy now to have that revisionist history. That stands out to me not picking up him, but I guess just the timing of the Hamilton,
The number was just so high, right? The number was so high.
But low considered what.
But the number ended up being around like what he got paid. So that's just the business. It changes. And for Patrick Queen, it's crazy because he obviously played extremely well when they declined it, which played into his favor, and now he's being paid very well up there in Pittsburgh. But that's just the business. This is that time of the year where everyone's going to talk about what guys are worth and do they deserve it. And to me, I think when you talk about Zay Flowers, he's the best receiver on the team. He's great in the community. He does everything he's supposed to do, and he has fun. He plays like a Raven when he's out there. So I believe a deal will get done. I think he's one of Eric DeCosta's favorite, right? You have a little bit of love when you pick somebody. It'd be great to see, someone get a chance to, at the receiver position, to play their second contract here, and I think Zay's earned that opportunity. and we'll see it coming here soon.
And I hate the discourse that's around Zay and whether or not he's a true number one. I think that conversation is so stupid to me. I mean, for me, it's the disrespect that I feel like Terry McLaurin gets in D.C., right? Like, guys in D.C. recognize what he means to that offense and what he means to that team. Guys in Baltimore, I think, by and large, believe that Zay Flowers is the number one receiver here. But that nationally, that might not be the view of him. But the numbers, I mean, he's coming off a 1,200-yard year, back-to-back 1,000-yard years. Two-time Pro Bowler. Like this, he's a legit.
Yeah, he's done well. And I actually hate the term number one receiver simply because what does it mean?
Well, DeAndre Hopkins also got on Twitter.
Right? Like, what does it mean? Number one receiver means what? Do you get the most targets? Do you command the most attention?
Check.
Like, what is it? Because if that's the case, there's times where I don't view myself when Anquan Bolden was here as the number one receiver. However, the best receiver followed me all the time. When it comes to the amount of targets, we were kind of close when it came to that, right? So certain teams operate differently. My view is the number one receiver on that team is the guy that you can depend on when it matters. And I think for Zay, he is that guy. But the reality of it is, when it comes to winning, you don't need one particular guy. You need a group of guys that can get it done. And I think Zay Flowers is a guy that is one of the top players in the league and has proven that he can be the guy here in Baltimore. And it's just about volume. You got to give him the ball. I think they do feed him a decent amount, but typically when you talk about number one, they're getting the ball 12-plus times a game.
All right, well, we are two people that are aligned in believing that 35 is probably the floor for Zay. And I've gotten a lot of hate online. Some people are saying, oh, that's crazy, it's too high. But I want to throw out some numbers for you. Let's play a little game here. So Zay Flowers, 4 games without Lamar Jackson. Let's keep that in mind when we're looking at his 2025. 86 receptions, 1,200 yards, 5 touchdowns, right? All right, you see this list of guys that are up here. Zay, I mean, that's market value. It's only going up, right?
It's only going up. And, again, if Zay's going to be somewhere in there in the 30s, right, people are going to complain, oh, my gosh, he's making top 5 money. Well, in 1 year, he will be out of the top 10. Like, that's just how this business works. So I think he's going to be in that I think 35 is the floor. However, how does Zay feel? That's the part that you have to, like, sometimes you want to take a little bit less to get that security now.
But hold on, how about this? If I give you a receiver, you try to tell me who this is. 75 receptions, 1,077 yards, 3 touchdowns. 1,077 yards, 3 touchdowns.
DJ Moore?
Past 2 seasons, 176 receptions, 2,271 yards, 9 touchdowns, compared to Zay's 160 receptions, 2,270 yards, and 9 touchdowns. So identical.
Who's that?
CD Lamb. And CD was up on that list, top 5 paid guys.
Sure.
And here's another guy, 2025. 59 receptions, 850 yards, and 6 touchdowns. In the past 2 seasons, 125 receptions, 1,842 yards, 11 receptions. Who do you think that is?
DK?
DK, another guy, top 5 guy. So we're talking, and these are guys that were 33, 34.
He's in that ballpark. He's young. He fits right in that range. So, again, I think everyone knows what it's going to take. What we're talking about here, the Ravens know what it's going to take. But here, I'll tell you.
And we're talking about the floor. So, Zay's up there trying to.
But when it comes to negotiations, this is how it works, right? I ain't going to lie. I wish that was me. You ask me right now, like, hey, would you take a little bit less and we give you $90 million guaranteed? I'd sprint from my house to one winning drive, right? However, with Zay, he does have that leverage, and he's going to have to be able to decide what it's going to take. So to me, I do think Zay would potentially take a little bit less, but it's going to depend on what the guarantee is and how it's structured.
I mean, we're talking about Alec Pierce, who just got, I believe, around 29 per year with the Colts.
29. He hasn't had, listen.
So
don't get me
that's what I'm saying. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about Torrey's friend Joe Flacco, who's still around collecting NFL checks. We're going to talk about it when Purple Playbook continues.
This is the Purple Playbook, brought to you by M&T Bank. The winning prognosis, brought to you by LifeBridge Health. Care bravely.
Are your kids excited that you're still playing?
Yeah, they are. If I told you what they thought, like, oh, you're going to go there, you should go there, or you should get this much, or you should. They were fun little conversations. You're asking for too much, actually. You don't need that, you know.
It's asking for too much. I mean, kids, you know.
I love him, man. And Joe, we spent some time together at the Pro Bowl recently, and the kids were all together, and He definitely has. One of his younger sons is a Joe Flacco. It's like a mirror talking to each other. So the sarcasm, I guarantee you, I know exactly who told him that he's asking for too much.
What is he? I mean, it's hard to believe that he's still in the league. Obviously, teams aren't just handing out contracts, but 19 years doing this. I mean, what value do you think Joe Flacco is bringing to the quarterback room in Cincinnati?
Oh, man,
He's been there. Bro.
Yeah, if someone gets hurt, you can count on him to come in and lead the way. He's not really worried about anything. Right? He's easygoing. He's not going to cause any problems. The team loves him. Right? Joe's a super laid-back dude. He's funny. I know here in Baltimore there became a narrative of he doesn't care about football. That's why I love that he's still playing. The amount of people in this area that thought Joe Flacco didn't care about football because he wasn't yelling and losing his mind on the sideline is absolutely ridiculous. And the fact that he's still playing this long, like he played longer than your favorite Raven. Right? And he's still going. So I think it goes to show that, one, he still has the ability and he loves the game, but two, he also might not like being in the house with all those kids. So that's why he's staying active out there.
Well, those kids are haters. I wouldn't want to be around them either. But listen, you say he doesn't care. He clearly cares about not getting a call from one of these teams that's out here needing a quarterback. Mm-hmm. Here's Joe talking about not getting an opportunity to start.
I feel like I have unfinished business. That's part of why I'm still here and playing and doing all those things and not being one of those guys to go sign somewhere. Yeah, it pisses me off a little bit, but at the same time, like I'm very happy to be here, and that's also why I don't see this as the end. Like I that's just not how I'm viewing it in my mind. Like I feel like I can help a team win, and yeah, it may be in a different role here, but I do still think I can help this team win in that role. I had a lot of fun with Joe, and Joe's the guy. And believe me, I wish I was a guy somewhere. And I think teams are dumb for not having me be that guy. But it is what it is.
Teams are dumb for not giving him an opportunity. Who do you think he's talking to? I mean,
I don't know.
That's somebody.
There are a few teams out here that don't have any quarterbacks, but who do you think?
Steelers need a quarterback.
They literally don't have one at all.
Jets need a quarterback. Raiders need a quarterback, but they're going to
draft one.
But still, you get a vet.
Yeah, you get a vet.
Done that Super Bowl champ.
Yeah, I agree with that. There's a few guys, like I said, there you could have went to that would have had the opportunity. But again, that's how this business works. People forget Joe Flacco was traded for last year.
Pittsburgh should have called him just so he could complete that, like the whole division.
The whole division,
just so he could be, that guy.
I'm not gonna lie. If Joe would have played for the Steelers to end his career, I'm not sure how I could view that. Like,
well, he's got to end it. He's going to end his career here. Like, he's going to come do the one day. Like,
it should. That's not this Joe Flacco we're talking about here.
You don't think he's going to come do the one day here and end in Baltimore? When you think Joe Flacco, you don't think Ravens?
I do think Ravens, but I also think Joe doesn't care about anything. All right, I'm done. Whenever you got to call me, okay, I'll be there.
You don't think he's going to do the one day thing? You don't think he?
I think he.
I mean, he's a Ring of Honor guy here, right?
He should. He'll be back when the Ring of Honor time comes, and then that's when he'll do it. But if you tell me that Joe Flacco says today he's done, if he does that, it's going to be because they called and say, hey, man, we really want you to do it. It's not going to be because he wants to do it. I promise you that. He is
Well, the Ravens
not worried about
the Ravens would want him to do that. That's right? Like, unless he goes to Pittsburgh. Then maybe.
He goes to Pittsburgh, he may be blocked out the Ring of Honor. So we'll see how that goes.
Well, you know how that could go, too. There could be some petty situations that keep certain guys out of that Ring of Honor. But Joe Flacco, going into year 19, I mean, we're going to talk more about Joe Burrow and some of the off-the-field stuff he's doing. He's injury-prone. We know that he's a guy that can go and help that team win games. What is it about Joe? Because I think that if anyone could come and collect an NFL check for 19 years, they would do it. What is it about him that has allowed him to be in this position to go and do that and still be playing at that high level?
It's crazy. I think it's because he's actually...
His body's not breaking down, clearly. He's not like one of those TB12 crazy...
It's funny, the fact that we're sitting here talking about Joe Flacco in year 19, it's hilarious to me because, people questioned if he worked out hard. Yet Joe is probably one of the more healthy players that you'll ever see. He's still able to run. He's played at a very high level. He's making, but I think it's because he's still proving. We're talking about a guy that just threw for his career high 2 seasons ago, right? He's been able to compete on every team that he's had the opportunity to play for. So I think it's more so a fact that you can trust him. He's been in great situations, but also he's a guy that when you have him in your room and he gives his feedback, he's seeing a lot of ball.
I'm trying to think too. We're talking about Pittsburgh. Didn't he light up Pittsburgh on a Monday night? this past season, like had the 4 or 5 touchdowns. Like
he's been playing well. It's crazy. Like he's been
when he went head to head with Aaron Rodgers.
And he's fearless, by the way. He does
not care. Just let it rip.
Care.
I mean, just dump it off to Jamar Chase. That's all you need to do.
That's all you have to do.
All right, we're gonna take a break. When we come back, we're gonna talk more about the Bengals quarterback, but this time we're gonna talk about Joe Burrow getting his butt handed to him in the flag football game by some guys that I think earned a lot of people's respect this past weekend. More Purple Playbook coming up after a quick break.
This is the Purple Playbook, brought to you by M&T Bank. The Bottom Line, brought to you by M&T Bank.
All right, welcome back to Purple Playbook. It's time for something or nothing. I'm going to throw out a topic. Tori, you tell me if it's something or nothing. I know we're on opposite sides with this one.
Uh-oh.
Big weekend this past weekend. Team USA, flag football, put some respect on Team USA's name. The Olympics are coming up. I think it's going to be full of those guys instead of these NFL players that people are talking about. You know, Team USA came out and embarrassed NFL stars at that Fanatics flag football event. Is that something or nothing for you?
I think it's a whole bunch of nothing, simply because I respect the flag. I've been around flag for a long time.
Don't lie, you don't respect the flag.
No, the DMV area, primarily in D.C., has a very heavy adult flag presence. I've been watching guys play flag since I was in college. Now, the guys at flag is different than tackle football, but as you can see here, you have Von Miller, a guy who has his hands in the dirt as a defensive end, playing against the little, smallest, tiniest, quickest. You have a fullback in Kyle Juszczyk. Everyone's talking about NFL guys. This isn't the best of the best when it comes to skilled guys, period. If you had DBs on the field that were going and had a few months to learn how to pull flags properly instead of just being lazy and reaching, the score would be different, which is why everyone keeps using the big numbers from that game versus Brady and then when they got blown out. If you take the score for the championship game where they won by 10 points, and you saw DeAndre Hopkins catching the ball like he had a baby on him, and you saw Odell Beckham standing in the back of the end zone, 2 guys on him, reaching up, catching it with one hand, you would see the talent, the size, and the skill is still greater. However, flag is a different game. So you can't just jump off the porch and do it, but with months, 6 months, in training and actually locking in and studying that game, they will wash them.
What do you have to say about Logan Paul sacking Jalen Hurts? And then you have Burrow, and I believe Hurts, too, throwing pick sixes. I mean, this is like 7 on 7. I mean,
yeah, they're just throwing
there's something to that.
Yeah, no.
There's something to that.
It's flag. Like,
did you see the press conference after? Don't tell Hoosh it's just flag. He was up there. Flag. It was his Super Bowl. He's crying. He got the trophy.
For them,
it meant something.
By the way, he's a great guy.
Meant something.
He's a great guy. It definitely meant a lot.
We're looking forward to 2028.
You don't think for years when Derek came out and said, hey, man, he's better than Patrick Mahomes at this? Like,
he wanted to show.
Right, he wanted to show that, so it was very personal. So I am happy for the flag guys. Shout out to those guys, great men. However, talent is still talent. I don't care what anyone says. I feel this way about a lot of different things. Like you ask me about when I watch any sport, it can be lacrosse. I know some kids in Baltimore City, if you gave them a stick and you taught them and they went on a lot of these lacrosse fields, they'd be some of the best lacrosse players we've ever seen in our life, but they don't do it. So I feel the same way about some of these kids, pro guys, that if you get HA from the Dolphins, if you go out, you hit Zay Flowers, and Zay gets 6 months to understand the flag rules. If people can't touch Zay Flowers with pads on, I don't know what you're gonna do when he's out there hip dipping and dropping.
That's what I'm saying.
Doing all the crazy stuff. And that's what the issue was. The issue was on pulling the flags. These guys don't pull flags, which is why when you see a championship game and it's only a win by 10 points by the best that we have, and these guys actually locked in for one game, offensively they would score points, but you need guys that can pull the flag.
All right, so Torrey's a hater. But now the next conversation, when you're surrounding this, because you're talking about putting Zay now, Lamar has been talked about, maybe some interest there as well.
Come on, man.
But the risk of injury is there as well, especially as we look forward to 2028. And I think the NFL is going to have there's a real conversation to be had about whether or not, teams can't want their guys to be going out and doing this stuff. You had Joe Burrow out there. You had Jaden Daniels out there. You had Saquon Barkley. Those were the guys that were out there participating, all guys that at some point in their career had dealt with injuries. It's a real thing. Yeah,
you can get hurt doing anything, but I would say this. I don't expect to see a current active player playing in it. I know they want
28.
to. I know Joe Burrow actually could be very good at it. Joe Burrow was on my team at the Pro Bowl, and he was super competitive. He doesn't know how to turn it off. He's a different beast.
Only threw a pick six.
Yes. But when you talk about a guy that would study it and get it down, like he would be a guy if you really put the time and the work into it. However, the guys that you need are the guys that are fresh out of college or guys that maybe had a short career in the league that can go out there and do it. Because you're looking at some of these flag guys, all these flag guys aren't 21, 20 years old. These are guys that have been doing
old?
it. Yeah, it's a special game. The guys know it. The adults play it. And again, I don't want to be disrespectful to it, to everyone that goes out. Because I know Baltimore has some nice leagues as well. Y'all don't go over here and judge me, but I'm not going to lie. If my knee didn't hurt, y'all don't have a single person that could guard me.
You know who's a nasty
So I
flag
got to
player?
be honest about that. But pulling the flags is different.
Antonio Cromartie. Nasty flag player.
Yeah, but he gained all that weight. Crow ain't moving the same like he used to. So, but young Crow is one of the most athletic people I've ever seen. If he would have been out there early, because he'll tell you too, flag is different. The game is different. You got to learn it. You can't just jump off the couch. And I think that's the respect that was earned. But is the talent enough to sustain that with practice? No.
All right, we're going to find out. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to wrap up the show. You're watching Purple Playbook.
This is the Purple Playbook, brought to you by M&T Bank. Now, WJZ's Purple Playbook, brought to you by M&T Bank.
Welcome back to Purple Playbook. As we wrap things up, we got less than a minute. Torrey, opening day weekend for the baseball world. I mean, you're a baseball guy. You like baseball.
I do. And when I was little, baseball was my favorite sport. So having the opportunity to play it was really cool. Coming here, having the opportunity to throw out the pitch a couple times at the Orioles game has been special. But my favorite memory is being in the dugout and Brady Anderson comes walking out. And to me, he was a mythical creature that was on my video game. And he had this big old bat. He used to hit home runs all the time. So I remember seeing him. I was like a big old kid.
And you threw your first pitches. Were you throwing from the mound or were you like?
I definitely cheated down.
You cheated?
I cheated down. For one.
That's
50-50.
All right, well, that's going to do it for this week's Purple Playbook. For two-time Super Bowl champion Torrey Smith, I'm Alex Glaze. We do this show every week, and we will be back next week as we get ready for the draft.